Hello everyone, this is Peak Entertainment and we are back again, and here now we have another video for you. And this video we will be doing a analytic report for the month of May in terms of the channel's performance for that particular month. So as usual with this video, if anyone watches these, it might be helpful if you are a small YouTube channel. If you are looking to start a YouTube channel, then this may give you some insight into what it's like in terms of viewership, video performance and overall stats in terms of subscribers, and how they can be collated over a certain amount of videos and how often you should release videos. So this is really just to give anybody a bit of help who's just starting within the game of YouTubing. Now of course, if you already have much experience within the game, if you have, let's say, plus over 500 subscribers, then this video is probably not be much of a use to you. So if you still want to watch it, that's great perhaps, but otherwise you may want to move on to other bigger channels who can provide you with much more bigger numbers and statistics that you may find useful in general. So we will look at May overall, and I will try to be a bit more concise and quicker with this review of this month than I was with the previous month overall. So when we look at the performance of May, it was probably, I think, a bit disappointing, a bit steady month in comparison to the numbers that I got from the last month in April. So currently at the moment the channel is standing now at 449 subscribers right now, so not too much to go now till we get to the halfway point in terms of monetization. So hopefully the month of June we can have much more of a potent viewership and can help us bridge closer towards 500 in June. It may be a bit of an ask to get to 500 in June. I'm normally getting around 28 to 30 subscribers per month, so hopefully we can get to around about 480, maybe 490 by the end of June this month, and that will be a pleasing result. So I'm just going to jump now overall to the analytics, and we're just going to look forward. And as you can see from this line graph, we covered the monthly period of May, and as I mentioned before, it's really been a kind of a steady month. There was a bit of a dip, but then we slowly increased throughout the month, and it's kind of been up and down overall. So nothing too spectacular really. The only high point was earlier in the month of May, where we had a real spike in the beginning, as you can see on this number here, and that was down to the biggest performing video of the month, and that was the Tom Kavanagh and the Carlos Valdez leaving the Flash after season 7. Now obviously, as you all well know, it was announced earlier on this month that both actors will be departing, but they're not making a permanent departure. So as I mentioned in that video, they will be more than likely coming back in a series finale over it gets to season 8, season 9 or season 10. So I think the primary reason why that video performed so well was probably because of the thumbnail. It's a very much of a humorous, very much of a comedic picture that we have on here in terms of both actors, but it's very much like the most performing videos on the channel, unfortunately, where it's gotten a lot of clicks, it's getting a lot of views, but it's not really getting very good view duration. Like, it's barely a minute overall. So despite the views that it got in this month, the view duration is very low, and I'm not really sure why that was. I mean, I did talk directly about the issue, I didn't stray away from it, but it just didn't get the big views that I thought it would hopefully get. But it continues to get views, even though it was, well, you know, 3 to 4 weeks now past the event. And The Flash isn't a water cooler show like, say, Game of Thrones or Walking Dead was in its prime. So I just don't know why the algorithm is continuously pushing this video, despite the fact that it's not getting the view duration. But that's the algorithm for you, you know, trying to figure it out is the biggest challenge overall. And just this graph over here, you can see throughout the month of May how it's continuously performed. It's got 33.8 watch hours, not fantastic overall, and 5 subscribers were additioned throughout this video as well. So again, it's just one of those videos that I think the thumbnail performed it very well, and people have been clicking on it, but unfortunately they're not clicking all the way through it. So if we go just quickly over the list of May, and as usual, it's the usual suspects that have been ongoing really for a whole year now in terms of performance. And I'm looking particularly at the Spartacus videos. They were released coming out nearly a year ago, and they're still getting lots of clicks and views overall. So I may consider making those private, just to maybe get a more realistic gauge of where the video is performing. I want to see if other videos will give them a chance of performing over well within the channel as well, so I may do that in the future. The Shameless US series finale continues to do well. Again, I'm not sure why, because that wasn't a water cooler show, as I mentioned before, like Game of Thrones, and the finale was way back in April, because I did the video the next day after the show finale had aired, and it still continues to get views. But I'm happy with that video because it's got a very good view duration in terms of my performance and my videos overall, just under 4.5 minutes, so that's very good. So hopefully in the month of June we can get a few more videos bumping up past this minute and a half in terms of view duration. So it's very good, and I've got very good traction on that video as well. There's been lots of good comments and likes as continuation on that video as well, so I'm very pleased with that video in terms of performing on the channel. As usual, as I mentioned in previous analytic reports, the Yurusuke Doji, again, people just clicking on and clicking off. They're hoping to get clips of the actual anime. As I mentioned in my last analytics review, I don't put clips in the videos. I don't have the greatest of internet and the editing software that I have, so it will just make the editing a lot longer. And again, I don't want to be dealing with any kind of copyright claims or strikes on the channel, as I don't have any on the channel so far. So that's really why I don't include clips within the videos I produce on. So the next big performing video within May was the Henry Cavill announcement being cast in the Highlander reboot. So that got a lot of traction because Henry Cavill is very popular amongst fans. We all know, of course, he's currently as Superman. He's got the Season 2 of Witcher coming out later this year. He starred as well alongside Enola Holmes as well. So we really were looking for the next big role, what Henry was going to be cast in. I know there was other rumours about him being cast in the Metal Gear Solid adaptation as well. So a lot of people were spreading around the speculation around that. But I think again as well, it was a very good thumbnail. Very good in terms of leading the title on Highlanding for Henry. So, and he had the face on here and him looking at the Highlander performance on here. So I think that was overall a very good thumbnail, and again, decent watch time for comparison in terms of my channel, 2 minutes or so. It got a few comments as well, a few good interaction with that video. But again, I think it was just a case of I got that video out as soon as I can, as soon as the announcement was made, and I think the thumbnail was good as well, so maybe that's why it performed very well. So in the month of May it got 144 views, so that's a very good performance. You can just see on this chart here now, when it was released it kind of had a big spike and then it's going up and down, 5.2 watch hours, so quite good for the amount of views it's getting. Only 1 subscriber gained, but again, I think it's just helping the traction with the channel overall. So the next big performance in terms of the videos released in May was the Black Lightning series finale review. Now that was literally last week, and I gave my overall thoughts and opinions on that. Just to quickly go through that again, I felt I was overall disappointed with the finale. I felt it was very rushed. It was clear as day that they were intending to go on to a season 5, and then they got told halfway through the show was going to get cancelled, so they had to make a lot of last minute changes and adjustments, and you can clearly see that within the finale, the way that everything was kind of rushed through. Major big developments within that finale that should have really had an episode or 2 to really build up to, but they didn't in the end, and they kind of rushed through. So it really did fell flat, and I was really disappointed. Again, you can click on the video to get my more extended thoughts. It was quite a good performer for the month as well. It had 107 views, had 8.5 watch hours, so it did even better than the Henry Cavill announcement. So again, that's good. For some reason, the Black Lightning videos that I've done have always been quite good performers for the channel. I think it's not a show that's covered by many, so I think if you are a fan of the show and you provide extension coverage, then you would get good viewership on it as well. So sadly the show's come to an end, but yeah, that was a very good performance overall for the month of May as well. So we go on to the next good performer, and that was the Canelo versus Saunders fight review. So anybody's into their boxing, we had the recent unification super middleweight clash between Canelo Alvarez and Billy Joe Saunders. Again, I got that video out I think a day after the fight. It started off slowly, but then it did build up traction steadily overall. I think I've got a good thumbnail for that channel, and I did provide a good in-depth review on the fight as well. I think it was a bit contentious because I stated that Billy Joe Saunders was doing quite well within the fight, and many people felt that he didn't really have any significant rounds, but we can agree to disagree. There was also a big controversy around that fight because of the supposed orbital bone socket that he broke in his eye, and maybe people were thinking, was it a quit, was it not a quit? We had the whole debate about whether we should make sure we should spare fighters from getting any long-standing injuries. So there was a lot of big talking points about that fight overall, so it gained a lot of traction. So I think that's why it performed very well within the channel. Again, if you look on here, it had a good view duration of 3.38 minutes, 25.3% viewed as well, 94 views, and that was actually been one of the most successful of my boxing videos and boxing coverage. As I stated before, my enthusiasm of the sport has been waning because we're not getting the big fights that we should be seeing, and that was typified a lot so by the recent debacle over the AJ and Tyson Fury issue, and the fact we had the Deontay arbitration. And my video for the arbitration didn't do very well. I was very disappointed in that because I thought that was quite a hot trending topic, but I didn't get many good views on that. But yeah, this Canelo, if you see on here, look, doing way better than the normal typical performance of my videos, and again 5.7 view time, so that's very good for the channel overall. So overall I was very pleased with that performance of Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders. So as I mentioned before, I will primarily do the fight reviews and the fight previews. I won't get into all of the fake news and the speculation. There's so much of it, and again, if I was more primarily a boxing channel, then I would subscribe to cover every single rumor and quote and tweet, but I'm not going to do that overall because I'm primarily just worried about what is the most substantial in terms of what's actually happening within the boxing. So that's why I mainly cover just the fight reviews. So that was another good performer in the month of May as well. So the last big performer for this month of May was the video covering the news that Terry Silver will be returning for Cobra Kai season 4. So of course, if you're a fan of the show, then you were very pleased for the fact that the character who originated from the third Karate Kid film will be coming back. So it was very interesting. He's a very charismatic, very memorable character from that film. So again, I think a lot of people are excited, and again, I tried to get that video out as soon as the announcement was made, and it got a lot of traction as well. So I think it's sitting on roughly around 84 to 85 views as well. So it actually performed a lot better than what I thought. I didn't think it would perform as well as that. So roughly 81 views on here. So yeah, I was very pleased with this performing video overall. The fact it's got 4.0 watch hours, and it's managed to get a lot of traction in terms of the YouTube search and suggested videos as well. So I was very pleased, and it continues to get, as you can see on here, continues to get viewership now. So again, that was one where the algorithm saw that it got very good traction and it keeps pushing it. So that was a very good, pleasing performance, maybe overall performance than what I felt would be within the channel as well. So in terms of the analytics, that's overall really the main coverage of May in terms of which videos were performing the best. So it's really something I've got to think about now in terms of trying to get the new videos more traction. And again, I always use lots of my social media, so I'm always posting notifications, whether it be on my Facebook, my Reddit, my Twitter. All of them are being used on there as well. So I've just got to try and look forward now to try and get the current views for the current videos being released. So currently at the moment with the channel, I'm covering a lot of the French Open. I did a video 3 days ago, who wins Roland Garros, where I give my predictions overall, and of course I recently covered the Naomi Osaka incident. That got no views at all. That was something that I thought was going to get quite a lot of traction because it's been trending a lot, but obviously my release didn't get a lot of views, so that was a bit disappointing on there. I did a breakdown where I counted down who I thought were the top 10 most hottest women in terms of the female characters of Star Trek. That probably will get a lot more traction within the month afterwards, because the similar videos I've done in terms of the hottest actresses in terms of a certain decade, they didn't start off very well either. Then they picked up after the next couple of months. So I'll probably look for more performance from this video within the next couple of months as well. So I'm not too downbeat about that either. So I'm continuing my drawing videos. So you can see on here, the last video was the Kenshiro colouring for the Fist of the North Star. So that I am going to keep continuing with the ASMR videos. I just want to give that a bit more of a try to see if that can gain more traction with viewers as well. So I've got a couple coming up with the pipeline, so you'll see those released in the next couple of days or so. And of course my next drawing picture in terms of how to draw will be Rogue, so look at that within the next week to 2 weeks, and I'll be continuing that series right the way through. So next pictures also coming will be Batman and Red Sonja and Piccolo from Dragon Ball Z as well, so look out for those in the future. In terms of movie reviews, so again this is very kind of steady-ish, I suppose. So again, I'm mixing it between current movies and movies from the past. So at the moment, I'm very much concentrating on what is my most favourite movies ever. So you can see their Power of One, very underrated movie. I highly recommend that you check that out. And you can see also the likes of Donnie Brasco and The Predator and The Departed as well. So look for that in the future as well. Also, in terms of the current movies, so we've got, I now guess, Black Widow coming next month. So I will definitely be reviewing that, and I'll of course do a non-spoiler and a spoiler review for that movie when that comes out as well. But look more in terms of movies that I feel were underrated and underappreciated. I'm still continuing that series, my most favourite movies ever, and I will shortly be starting a series on movies that I think are near enough perfect. Now I think I'll call that name the 10-10 series, so movies that are 10 out of 10. So look out of that batch of reviews of films coming out within the next month or so. Anime I continued to do when I can. So obviously I did a bulk series review of Castlevania, covering all 4 seasons overall. I looked at Castlevania, I was very impressed with it for the most part. There's a few issues, but I did like it overall. So you can see still carrying on with the classic animes from the 80s and 90s. I will continue to do that as well as do more up-to-date series. So I think we've got one anime coming out soon called Terce, I believe, and I think it's got a Filipino lead character in the role. I saw the trailer for that recently, and I think that comes out later on this month of June, so I will look to review that as well. I'll do a season review as well on there. So in terms of television review, as I mentioned before already, the Black Lightning series finale, I've already covered that, and the Shameless US series finale as well. So I think people are going to be a bit light on television reviews, because certainly from the CW now, we've only really got the likes of The Flash and Batwoman. In terms of my views, I haven't watched Legends of Tomorrow. I was very frustrated with that show for many seasons now, and I just didn't bother catching up with season 6. So if I'm going to do a review of Legends of Tomorrow, it's probably going to be just a season review. I'm not going to do any episode standouts right now. We do have Loki coming out soon. I think that's June the 9th as well, so that should gain a lot of traction for people. So of course I'll do a premiere review and any episode standouts, and also a season finale review as well of that show. So look out for that as well in the long run. In terms of the tennis, I've already talked about that, covering the French Open. So as usual, I will do my predictions for the quarterfinals, the semi-finals and the finals as well. When I did that for the Australian Open, I did get some of my best viewership within the channel when I covered that overall, and you can see the numbers on here. So hopefully I can continue to gain some good viewership when I repeat the same tactic for the French Open quarterfinals, semi-finals and finals. And then you've got the boxing videos is there overall. So I will stay consistent. I will try and cover more of the trendy topics. I'm not a fan of that, especially when it's fake news, but if I'm going to do that, they're only going to be short videos. So if I do that, it's only going to be about 4 or 5 minute videos. I am somebody who likes to go deep into breaking down and analysis, but if I'm going to try to get those videos out as regularly as I can, then I'm going to make them as short as possible. So that's really where the channel stands at the moment. I've tried to make this video a bit quicker than the last one, probably failed at this point, but that's the overall picture of where the channel is currently at the moment. As usual, I will welcome any feedback, suggestions, preferences as to what videos you'd like to see from the channel in the future in terms of content overall. If you think the videos are too short or too long, if you like the thumbnails, if you like the current topics that I'm covering, or would you like me to see me cover much more trendy topics? Are there certain movie reviews that you'd like to see me carry out in the future? As I mentioned last month, I'm still not up to date yet in terms of my internet to perform streaming and live streaming, but I will try to be working on that in the future. So I will let you know when I do indeed perform the first live stream overall. And unfortunately, I can't go on other people's live streams right now because of that. So some people have offered me, and if my internet was up to date, then I would perform the live streams as well. But we'll see what happens with that in the future as well. But that's really it in terms of the overall status of the channel. I'm going to continue with the movie reviews and the tennis coverage and the art videos as well. But like I said, if you have any suggestions or where you feel I should be going in the long run, then please let me know in the comments below, and I will take those suggestions into consideration. So that's where we are right now, 449 subscribers. Hopefully we can get close to 500 within the next month. That'll be the big overall goal within the channel. But like I said, we will see how it goes, and I'm always looking at my analytics every single day, so we will see the direction of the channel and where it heads from there overall. So those are my analytic reports for May. I hope you've enjoyed it, and like I said again, if you are a small channel, or if you're somebody who's looking to get into the YouTube and you want to see how a certain small channel performs overall, then maybe this will be of use to you. Again, if it does, let me know in the comments and we can discuss further in terms of analytics and numbers and videos released overall. So that's it for now really. Please also hit those like and subscription and notification buttons. It will help me to grow as well, taking that one closer step towards monetization overall. I'm still way behind on the watch time hours, so that's something as well I've got to pick up on as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will of course provide the analytics report for June 2021, and I'll continue to do that month on month as we continue to grow the channel overall. So hit those like and subscription and notification buttons. But that's it for now on my analytic reports for May. I hope you've enjoyed it. For now, take care of yourselves, stay at safe distances, and I will see you very, very soon.